And welcome back in, my friend. It is the pre-game. Wrexham taking on Reading at the Racecourse Ground. 8th place Wrexham taking on 5th place Reading. Someone's not going to be in the same place after this game. And both teams need to get a win, or at least a draw for Reading, to stay in contention with the guys perfect so far. 4 teams on 6. Wrexham and Reading looking to stay in touch with the playoff, if not an automatic promotion spot. Let's get right into this. First of all, I've got to say welcome in, my friend. Welcome in, worldwide Wrexham fans. You know who you are. And if it's your first time in, welcome in. Pay for your ticket, I say. Pay for your ticket, like I say each week. That means like and subscribe. Let's get into this straight away. We've got loads of highlights, loads of stuff to get into. Game news, game talk, prediction, news stats and stories coming through as well. 2 times player focuses, loads of highlights, like I told you. So let's get into this right now with a Andy Cannon player profile. Sometimes you need a player to take the game by the scruff of the neck and take control of it and be an impact player. Well, a couple of games ago against Grimsby Town, Andy Cannon put in an impressive performance. So each week we need someone to do the Andy Cannon or be the impact player. Take a look, Andy Cannon. This was what you needed on the day. This is the kind of player Wrexham are going to need against Reading Saturday. So like I say, we needed an impact player against Grimsby on the day. Not an easy place to go. It's never easy on the road. It's never easy to travel and get the points. But you need impact players, no matter what game, home or away. I wonder if Andy's listening. Can he be the player tomorrow? If not, who do you think's going to be the impact player for Wrexham against Reading? Or for that matter, you Reading fans, who's your impact player coming in to do the damage against Wrexham on the road? Now we're going to take a look at last game. Man of the match, impressivo, Arthur Okonkwo. Take a look. So there you go. Arthur Okonkwo on form, man of the match. What a performance. What a performance. And at the Vancouver game recently, I got to see Arthur real up close. If you want to see the highlights from Vancouver and Wrexham from the Rex tour, I just dropped a video. Go down below. Watch that now. Or after this, I should say. But watch that straight after. There's also a link to it after this anyway. But watch that straight after. Some great scenes from inside BC Place in Vancouver, Canada, when Wrexham played Vancouver Whitecaps. It was an amazing day. Get a look at that one. But as for Reading, their last game out was against Wigan Athletic. Take a look. This was Reading last game in League One. Pretty decent performance there by Reading. Now let's take a look at some of the images from Bolton away. You might actually be in one of these pictures. Did you recognise yourself? Did you? Let me know down below. If you were in one of those Wrexham fan pics, let me know if you saw you in the picture? Let me know down below. And anyway, as we're going through this, anything you want to comment on what we've gone through so far, down below, you know, to make a comment every time. And like and subscribe, join the family, pay for your ticket. That's what I'm saying. Let's get into the stats and the stories right now. So remember, my friend, as we plow through the stats and the stories, remember, press pause, view a little longer, and catch me up when you're done, because I'll be there waiting for you. But there's League One as it stands right now. And this weekend, obviously, Reading in 5th, taking on Wrexham in 8th. Somebody's going to have a happy face after this. Looking at the top scorers, or your hot shots, as we say, that's what it looks like for Wrexham right now. Your assist kings is looking like that so far in the early stages of the season. 3 yellow cards and no red cards so far. Let's hope it stays that way. Now, this is Game 3 coming off from the racecourse ground. The head-to-head. Quick question of questions. Remember, 4 more coming. Head-to-head. What do you think this time? How has Wrexham done over all those years against Reading? We'll take a look. 9-4-16. Yes, Reading has done quite well so far, but 9 wins for the Red Dragons as well and 4 draws. Now, looking at head-to-head factors all time, take a look at that. First ever meeting, 1934. Reading wins 3-0. First ever victory for Wrexham, Jan 9th, 1957. 2-1 away win. Both these games within the FA Cup. 3 wins back-to-back. September 11th, bad date, 1993, 3-2. March 5th, 94, a 1-0 win away from home. August 8th, 1998, 3-0. All those games, Division 2. The last victory was that 8th of August, 1998, 3-0 in Division 2. However, the last 7 games, well, 6 wins, 1 draw for Reading, and 5 wins back-to-back for Reading. Are Wrexham going to get something out of this game? Or is it another victory or another draw for Reading? What do you think? Down below, guys, down below. Remember, pay for your ticket. And this is Wrexham taking on Reading. Now, your 4 questions, moving on. Let's take a look at the 4 questions. So as it says, question 1, should Wrexham AFC play Vancouver Whitecaps every pre-season? Should they play every pre-season? Simple question. What's your answer on that one? Question 2, big question. Should Wrexham AFC sign Phil Parkinson to a 5-year contract? Recently, Phil's been on rolling contracts, 12-month contract year to year. Should they lock him up and sign him in? Because I tell you what, I think Phil knows what he's doing, yeah? And if this is another big season, just saying. So, question, should they sign Phil Parkinson to a multi-year or a 5-year contract? What are you thinking? Bit of a nostalgic question for Wrexham fans right now. All time, forever, all time. As a Wrexham fan, who is your favourite player of all time? I will reveal mine next show. But who is your favourite Wrexham player of all time? Which is the best Wrexham AFC signing since Phil Parkinson took over? There's been quite a few. There's been some record-breaking signings too. But which of Phil's signings has been the best signing, in your opinion? Now, getting back to the prediction image, which we bring every week, we're going to do it in a different way right now, but here is what I'm thinking. I'm seeing a 2-1 win all day long for Wrexham, but only if they bring a top performance. We're going to get into the game talk now, but right now, should all things go well, this should well be a win for Wrexham at home. Let's see what happens. What are you thinking? What's your score? How's it going to turn out? How's it going to end? Now, talking about the game talk, starting with Wrexham. Wrexham have great home form over the last couple of years, no doubt about it. That must continue. Great form at the racecourse ground is going to get Wrexham into the playoffs. Not an automatic spot, but into the playoffs. The racecourse ground needs to become a fortress and a place of distress for all visiting teams. Staying with Wrexham on the game talk, Last game out, Bolton on the road. Yes, no goals scored, no goals conceded, but I did tell you that was going to be a tough road game, and it really was a tough road game. And Bolton had plenty of chances to have taken that game, albeit for Arthur Okonkwo in between the pipes. So a statement was made. And remember, I said we need to make a statement on the road? That was a statement, a point at Bolton. I tell you now, I don't see too many teams getting a 0-0 at Bolton Wanderers this season. Now, I've got to say this much. Without looking too far, we got a few tough games coming up, haven't we? If you looked at the schedule, you'll know there's some really tricky games coming. Wrexham now need to go on an unbeaten run. Pretty much like last year. There can be a few losses in between for sure, but Wrexham need to go on a bit of an unbeaten run, and that's wins and draws. Wins and draws. But start building that confidence to start cementing yourself as a top 10 team, first of all, not just playoff team, but top 10. Stay unbeaten, get the wins and draws going, get the confidence going. And let's see how our new fledglings do for us this season. But right now, we're in contention for a result. I'm very impressed with the new guys. Revan, Sebastian, is definitely catching my eye. Who's catching your eye from the new guys? We've signed a few guys, yeah? Maybe one more's coming in. But who out of the new guys is really catching your eye? I'm a big Revan fan right now, and he hasn't really put a foot wrong. There's a few other guys that are doing it too. And you can talk about guys that we signed a year or two ago that are now getting chances. So there's a lot happening in the squad. And there's going to be players departing as well. So don't get used to getting too much, you know, worried and in love with one player because the club is bigger and the club will be releasing players as the team gets better. I'll tell you this, though, if there's no promotion this year, which would not be a terrible thing, but if there's no promotion this year, the team and the squad will still get strengthened for another push next year. So as each season goes through, you're going to see the squad get built. And it really does make me go back to that question. Under this system, do you think Wrexham should lock up Phil Parkinson for a multi-year? I really think they should. You know, the 12-month rolling contract is beautiful, but lock him up. He's getting quite the reputation, shall we say. Look at his numbers. 60-odd% winning record. Doesn't take too much to say about that. As for the game, though, like I say, I see a 2-1. It's going to be a tough one. Everybody's got to be perfect. And if you're not perfect, it could end up being a bad day at the racecourse ground. The last time Wrexham beat Reading was 1988. Are we going to get that elusive win this Saturday? Hours away from the game, I ask you. Are we going to win? I'm saying 2-1. What are you saying? What's your score? Now, injury news. We've got some injury news. Paulie Mullin looking at the board right now. 2 weeks roughly he's been back in training. Apparently, Park is saying he's looking good, getting stronger, fitter all the time. There's going to be a fitness test here close around the game, maybe a little bit before the game. If he plays, it'll be like he's right on the edge of being ready. So I would sooner we wait a little bit. I think it's going to be a possibility that he plays, but not an impossibility. But I would sooner give him another week training and get him back proper. Other news as well, PFA Player of the Year. Player of the Year by the PFA. The PFA is when the players vote for you, a fellow player in the same league. So it's not the fans, it's the players who vote for this. 2 nominations for Wrexham for PFA Player of the Year for last season, League 2, are Paul Mullin and Elliot Lee. Now let's take a look at Reading. Reading, a team I've seen in the high and I've seen in the low leagues, and a team that recently has fallen from great heights super fast. It's a great club, but it's in financial trouble and has been for a little while. But we're going to explain some stuff. We've got it on the board for you like we do each week. I say this, Reading is a club in trouble. Also, to set up this season, no trades allowed. There was a trade embargo placed on Reading by the Football League Association, which was recently removed. Recently removed means that, Reading could have gone out and sourced players to possibly sign, but they weren't able to sign them and get them across the line, which means it puts them at a little bit of a massive disadvantage to keep the squad building, especially with a team that's sliding, yeah? So basically, the League One club was only been able to sign new players under strict financial reason and rulings by Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. And that's basically your tax people, whatever country you're living in. And basically, they had the embargo placed on them for not paying up taxes and plus finances. So, in just over 10 years, Reading has fallen from being a Premier League club to being League One and possibly going to League Two. I mean, take a look at the last 3 years. 2021 was a championship club, 46 games, 13 wins, 8 draws, 25 losses. They finished 21st, only just narrowly missing relegation. The next season, they finished 22nd, getting relegated. The numbers, 46 games, 13 wins, 11 draws, 22 losses. 3 losses less than the year before, but they still go down. And last season, it could have been 2 relegations back to back. Yeah, 2023-2024 League One, 46 games, 16 wins, 11 draws, 19 losses, and they finished 17th. They could have been in League Two. What's going to happen this season? Will they survive relegation this year? Is it a case that Reading is up for relegation? Are they going to go down? Or are they indeed going to turn it around, seeing as they're sitting 5th right now, looking good without a loss, challenging for a playoff spot? Sometimes teams get to such a low that there's only one place to go, back up. Is this the season for Reading to go, we've gone as low as we can go, we've got to go back up? And obviously the owner is possibly sticking more money into the club, and that was what got the club into the trouble in the beginning. Careful choice of who owns your club, I would say. But are they going to turn this around, or are they going to stay in the bottom half of the table? And is it going to be another bad year for Reading? Or is it going to start on the weekend with a win at Wrexham and a charge for promotion to get back in the Championship? And by the way, when they were in the Championship, I think that was Reading's rightful place. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this pre-game. Wrexham taking on Reading at the Racecourse Ground. Remember, there's 2 teams unbeaten. Who's going to remain unbeaten after this? Or indeed, will it end a draw? I hope not. We don't need any more draws. We need wins on a home ground. Draws are good enough on the road. I'm okay with that. But who's going to step up and be an impact player like that highlight reel you saw with Andy Cannon, dominating tackles, dominating midfield, running like a 100-meter hurdler down the field through everybody to get on the end of a great pass to lash a thunderbolt into the roof of the net. Prior to that, he wins a challenge, dodges a player, rides a challenge, thrashes the ball into the net. That's the kind of guy someone needs to see happen tomorrow. Impact player. Andy, if you're listening, please do it. Get ready for a nail-biter. This one could be ugly. It might not be pretty all the way through. Sometimes you got to work for the win. Wrexham, Reading, the Racecourse Ground. Let's have it. Cheers.